If you were on TikTok at any point in 2024, then you probably felt something shift. Your For You page started to look different. Suddenly, we had thousands of women posting videos about what they ate in a day, and these videos were very controversial. The diets looked extremely restrictive. We had protein shakes at 6 a.m., tiny portions, advice on how to stop emotionally eating or how to stop snacking, how to not gain weight when you go to university. Overall, the objective of these videos were to help women stay slim and stay thin while living their normal lives. And the comments were full of the girlies saying, yes, this is what I needed, thank you so much. And people started calling this section of the internet Skinny Talk. By 2024, Skinny Talk had over 74,000 videos under its hashtag with tens of millions of views. The content was the same as always, just dressed up in a new aesthetic. And at the center of it all was one woman who said the quiet part out loud, honestly louder than anyone else was willing to. Her name is Liv Schmidt. She was only 22 years old with nearly 700,000 followers on TikTok, watching her post her diet videos and call it a lifestyle. She got banned from TikTok, but she came back and built a private subscription community called the Skinni Societe that was making her over 100K per month. And when a journalist went undercover inside Liv's Skinni Society, she found some disturbing things. There were high school girls competing over who could eat the least, and they were experiencing serious health side effects, but they were being told to push through it. After this investigation, Meta demonetized her. TikTok eventually banned the entire Skinny Talk hashtag in 2025 after pressure from European Union regulators. But Liv is still here. And today we are going to get into all of it. We are going to talk about who Liv was before any of this even happened. Because when you know who she was before the fame, everything starts to make sense and we start to understand why she has gone so extreme with her platform. We are also going to get into the ban, the comeback, and what was really happening inside her exclusive group chat called the Skinni Society. And of course, we are going to have the bigger conversation, the one that is about all of us, about the beauty standards that made her content feel like the truth to so many young women. And by the end of today's video, we are going to answer this question. Did TikTok banning Liv Schmidt actually protect anyone, or did they just protect themselves? Let's get into this video. Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm NK and this podcast is your go-to space for honest conversations about beauty, culture, and the lives of modern women. If you are into that, make sure to subscribe, rate 5 stars, like, follow, do what you gotta do, and let's keep on going with this video. Part 1. Who is Liv Schmidt? Liv was 22 years old when she got banned from TikTok, and this happened back in September 2024. Her story is one of the most interesting things I've had to research in a while, and I feel like there are so many key takeaways we need to take note of and to apply to ourselves in our own lives, so that's why I really wanted to bring her story to this podcast. So Liv graduated magna cum laude from the University of Arizona with a degree in digital marketing and public relations. Magna cum laude basically means that she was at the top of her class. She was really smart, she was excelling, she wasn't barely passing by, like no, she was very smart and she was doing well. You know, that's literally every African parent's dream, but whatever. During her time in school, she interned at Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Bulgari. 3 of the most prestigious names you could possibly put on a resume as a college student. I'm telling you, she was smart. Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are 2 of the biggest investment banks in the world. These are the type of places where it's hard to get an internship. I mean, it's hard to get a job there, but also to get an internship as a college student, that is quite impressive. So I want you guys to understand that Liv is a very smart girl and she knows her way around, and I'm sure she learned a lot of valuable lessons while she was interning at these 2 companies. Then Bulgari, or not Bulgari, I think it's Bulgari. I don't even know how to say it. All these fancy designer names, I don't even know how to say it. I think it's Bulgari. We're gonna call it Bulgari. But it's a luxury Italian jewelry and fashion house, and it was founded like way back in 1884. So it's an old AS company. But this fashion house is for rich people, the people who got the moolah. Like I saw a watch that was 20K on their site. So you know their demographic is like celebrities, rich people, millionaires, people like that. A lot of celebrities have actually worn this brand. Elizabeth Taylor, she was obsessed with them. She's a British, I think she's British or American or both. She was an actress back in the day. I mean, Taylor Swift made a song about her recently, so maybe you know her. Also, Rihanna has worn this brand before. So yeah, a lot of rich people wear this brand, and I'm sure that Liv probably met some rich people and got some connections that way. And maybe that influenced the way she saw herself and saw society, but I am getting ahead of myself. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, but my phone is low-key my best friend. Like, she's kind of just that girl. She gives me directions, I learn new recipes from her, and she cures my boredom, so she's just that girl. But I've changed what I do on my phone just to put a little cash back in my pocket. So same habits, but different outcome. It's an app called Free Cash. Basically, you play games, you do simple tasks, and you get cash. That's it. It's not going to replace your income, but it is the thing you can do when you're waiting on your Uber, you're waiting for your flight, or if you just want to relax after a stressful day. So when you open the app, this is what it looks like. It's very clean, very easy to navigate. You've got different offers, games you can try, and tasks at different earning levels. You just pick one and go. So I chose Monopoly Go because I used to play that all the time when I was younger, and it's very simple. All you do is choose the game, download the game, and then play it. You're playing a game that you would download anyway, except this time there's a payout attached to it. There are over 100,000 Trustpilot reviews, and they have a rating of 4.7. So it's real people making real money playing real games. The withdrawal process is also very straightforward. The minimum cash out is only $25, and you can withdraw via PayPal, crypto, gift cards, and more. But make sure you enable app tracking when you set it up. That's how it records your activity and ensures you're actually credited for what you're doing. If you sign up with my link or scan the QR code on the screen right now, you get a $10 bonus after downloading your first game. Link is in the description. The QR code is on the screen. I'll keep you guys updated on my earnings, and I want you guys to do the same. Let me know how much you made while you're waiting for your Uber to pull up. Liv also had an internship at another luxurious brand. Hopefully I don't butcher the name. It's Kiki de Montparnasse. It's French, y'all. I'm not French. I don't speak French. So it's Kiki de Montparnasse, I think. I don't know if y'all are French and I just butchered that. I am sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me. Merci beaucoup. That's all I know how to say. But this is a New York-based luxury brand that was founded in 2005, and it's named after a real woman. Her name is Alice Prin, who was basically like the it girl of the 1920s Paris. She was a model, performer, and a painter, and she was the muse of some of the most famous artists of her era. And she was completely unapologetic about her sexuality at the time when that was considered radical. You know, back in the day, they would have called you an SLUT if you showed a little bit of boobs, a little bit of legs, because you had to be very modest and conservative. And it's just crazy how time has just changed. Like, it is the complete opposite now, but that was how it was back in the 1920s. So the brand took that energy of Alice and they built a luxury lingerie around it. And when I say luxury, I mean luxury. Like, it is very expensive. We are talking about pieces that retail for like hundreds of dollars. Like, it's a lot of money. They are very fashion forward and very deliberately positioned around the idea of female sensuality as something luxurious and empowering. All of these brands that Liv interned at have one thing in common. They are prestigious. They are luxurious. And as I said before, I am sure that she learned a lot while being in these roles and probably met some smart, wealthy, and powerful people. And when you add this to the Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan internships, you start to get a really interesting picture of who Liv was before TikTok, before she got banned, before she made her Skinni Society. She was someone with a foot in finance and a foot in luxury fashion and a degree in digital marketing, tying it all together. So after her graduation, she moved to New York City and got a job as a social events coordinator at a private family office. And on top of all of that, she became a certified life, health, and wellness coach, which is very ironic. And I'm like, who the hell gave her that certification? And you're going to understand exactly what I am talking about as we go through today's video. Before Liv was extremely obsessed with her appearance and staying slim, she was a soccer player. And being an athlete is no joke. It's literally your whole lifestyle, because you have to have the structure, the discipline, the physical training, while also balancing your social life. So it's interesting how she went from that to how she is now, but it's all gonna make sense soon. She posted photos of herself on Instagram before she lost weight, and to me, she honestly looked great. She looked healthy, she looked fit, and it looks like she did go to the gym or she did play soccer because her legs were toned, they were muscular. She just looked healthy and fit. But she posted this photo as a before, so it seemed like she was insinuating that that body she had she didn't like, and that was not good enough, even though she looked healthy. I'm not sure if in those specific photos she was a competitive soccer player. I'm not sure when those photos were taken, but either way, she looked great, and it's sad that she thought that body was a problem and was undesirable. Liv says that she was playing soccer for 4 hours a day, so she was a very physical, you know, when you're an athlete, you have to train, go to the gym, work out, like it's a lot, like you're literally always moving, so you're burning more calories. But to maintain your energy levels, to maintain your weight, to maintain your performance, you also need to eat more, so it balances out. Unfortunately, she suffered a serious foot injury that ended her soccer career completely. And just like that, the thing that defined her, that had given her direction, was gone. And I can't can't exactly know how she's feeling, but I have an idea because at my previous job, I used to work with this guy who was on his way to become a professional soccer player. He actually traveled to a different country. I forget what it's called. I want to say Brazil, but I know it's not Brazil. But anyways, he went to the country, was playing soccer, you know, prepping and all that. Then he got a foot injury. Then he had to come back home and get surgery on it. But I think the surgery went wrong or the injury was too much. So then he had to stop playing soccer. And even though like he was always happy when he was talking about it, like he was always in a good mood, I could tell like when he would talk about soccer, he was sad. Like you can tell when someone like has like an underlying sadness to them, you know, like the vibe. So I could always tell that with him whenever he was talking about soccer. So I'm like, damn, like just imagine you're working towards something and then boom, it's taken away from you. So I cannot exactly know what Liv is going through because I have not personally went through that, but I have an idea. And that type of injury, that type of change is a lot to deal with mentally and physically. So because of Liv's injury, she had to stop playing soccer and she wasn't as physically active as she used to be. She was still eating like an athlete and that was causing her to gain weight.
So I went from eating like an athlete who was playing 4 hours of soccer a day, I was eating a ton of calories, to still eating like an athlete, but I was sedentary because I broke my foot.
She was very insecure about this, especially her thighs. She has a video titled Bye Bye Thunder Thighs, something like that, where she talks about how to stay slim and she talks about her thighs, that she really hated her thighs. She thought that they were too big. She said that she would always complain to her parents, asking them like, do you think my thighs are too big? Am I too fat? Da 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 da. And it looks like they got sick of her asking, so they got her a personal trainer.
So I found a trainer. My mom helped me because I was so uncomfortable with my thunder thighs. Like I was the girl when I was going out, being like, do my legs look big? Do my arms look big?
I have mixed thoughts on that because clearly it seemed like Liv was pretty insecure about her body, which is normal because if you gain some weight, especially going from an athlete who was physically active 4 hours a day to not being as physically active, of course you're going to gain weight if you're eating as if you are physically active for 4 hours a day. So I somewhat understand them getting her a personal trainer to help her feel confident in her body, which is great. But I also feel like other things should have been done, such as therapy, or maybe for her to be part of a group that talks about that experience, because from the way that Liv describes her personal trainer, it seems like they were kind of restrictive, not gonna lie. And I don't know the state of Liv's mind when she kept asking her parents if she was fat, but I have an idea. So I just felt like she needed more than just a personal trainer. She needed to be comforted, not just thrown a solution. That's my opinion, but let me know how y'all think. Because I can relate to the feeling of having big thighs, thunder thighs as you call it, because in my life, I have lost weight twice. So the first time I lost weight, I was in high school. And up until high school, I was not like big, but I was big. If like, honestly, I look back, I was big because I wasn't even active. I was active at school for maybe like an hour max, but not even really. Like, yeah, not really. I pretty much only ate carbs. Like you should see like the plates I would eat. It would just be rice and chicken, like, but like maybe like one drumstick, but then all rice. It was just full of carbs. It wasn't even balanced. Like I wasn't getting that much protein. I was barely eating vegetables, barely eating fruits. Like it was actually a mess, not gonna lie. And honestly, especially when I was younger, I was just very insecure about how I looked. Like I want to say insecure, but also I wasn't, because I kind of just accepted. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm fat and ugly, so I'll accept it and just like be confident. Honestly, I just had a very weird way of coping with it. And I feel like that explains why I was so like, I was very like, you know, stone cold. Like I was a stone cold bee back in the day. Not as emotional as I am now. But anyways, yeah. So I had thunder thighs. I didn't like it because on my screens, I saw all these beautiful ladies like Beyonce, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj or whatever, and they all were pretty, they all had flat stomachs, and I wanted to have a flat stomach, but I didn't have one. And also my thighs too, they were quite big due to how I ate, genetics, and I wasn't as physically active, simply. And I hated that because all the girls in my school, at least most of them, they were smaller, they were slimmer, and that's what I wanted. And I'm saying this all to say that I get it. I get the feeling of having thunder thighs, thinking that you're big, thinking that you're fat. I've been there before. But here's where I want to draw the line. Wanting to be healthier and working towards that is one thing. And yes, that journey is not a single line. It's not smooth sailing. I know for me, like, I mean, I told you I lost weight twice in my life. It was not a smooth sailing ride at all. I'll be so honest. I didn't know what I was doing. And yeah, I made some bad choices because I just did not know how to achieve what I wanted. And also, yeah, when you feel bad, you're just like, damn, like I'm ugly. Let me just do what I gotta do to lose weight. But at some point, you have to take accountability for your actions, what you have done, and make the changes that actually serve you long term. What is a completely different conversation is getting on the internet with hundreds of thousands of followers and packaging harmful messaging about weight loss as a lifestyle. Because at that point, it's not just your journey anymore, it's everybody's. So Liv started making changes to her diet and her workout routine with her personal trainer. She emphasized swapping high-calorie foods for low-calorie ones and said that walking was how she lost a lot of her thigh weight, which was her biggest insecurity. She lost about 20 pounds, 20 or 30 pounds.
With my trainer, he helped me with low-calorie swaps. Like, instead of my 600 calorie oatmeal in the morning, we switched it to this protein shake.
And the moment that physical transformation became visible on camera, everything shifted. Before that, she had a small following in the beauty and lifestyle space. Nothing really remarkable, nothing really stand out about her at that time, to be honest. No offense to her though. She was just in New York City like every other influencer posting beauty tutorials. But the moment she started openly talking about how she became thin, that's when everything started to shift. And here is what made Liv different from every other wellness influencer out there. She was not giving you a balanced approach. She was not telling you to listen to your body and to build a sustainable approach to weight loss. She was saying the quiet part out loud, that she liked to be skinny, she liked to be thin, and she was going to tell you exactly how she got there and how she maintains her skinniness. But no disclaimers, no body positivity, no none of that. She was being unapologetically herself and did not hold back on her platforms. I mean, if you go on her page, it's very easy, it's very clear to see that Liv enjoys being skinny. Her captions are always about her looks, how she stays small, all her videos, like that's literally her brand. And I feel like it definitely runs deeper than aesthetics, and there are probably reasons that we may never know because she'll never tell us. But I mean, as a woman myself and as someone who used to be bigger, I feel like I have an idea. Because here's the thing that does not get said enough. When you are considered attractive in society, in Western culture and Western beauty standards, you are treated better. Your life is, for the most part, easier. This is not controversial, y'all. This is real life. I've experienced it myself. My friends have experienced it. Other people have talked about it on the internet, and I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen it happening to other women as well. I mean, look at all the women on our screens, on TV, all beautiful, all gorgeous, all had flat stomachs, all had pretty faces. Their hair was always done. They looked great. And there have been studies done where people are nicer to people who are attractive, who they consider attractive. So doors open more easily for you as a woman and you get more opportunities. And by today's standards, being smaller is definitely the ideal. Being slim, we used to have our slim thick era, but now I feel like we're going back to the slim era with Ozempic and all that. I mean, being slim has always been the ideal, but I feel like through the decades, we've had different versions of being slim, but now we're back to like the, 2000s slim look. I do think it was a bit worse though during like the Tumblr 2000s because we had the obsession with thigh gaps. Y'all, I used to be so obsessed with thigh gaps. I wanted one so badly. I don't care about it now, obviously, but I wanted to get one. But we had all the flat stomach content, the thin spos. It was just a lot back in the day, and I feel like they're low-key trying to bring it back in 2026. I don't think it'll be successful just because it's 2026 and we have a lot of organizations and a lot of platforms are just simply not going to accept people promoting that type of content. Once I first lost weight in high school, I was like, damn, like I didn't even know it was possible to begin with, but I noticed that I was getting treated way better. I was like, oh, so this is what y'all girls be like living with. This is how y'all's life is. Because before that, no one was looking for me. No one was checking for me. No one was asking for my number. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with it. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, let me just go to school, get my degree, work, got a good job, live my life. Like that was my thought process back in high school. But I don't know what changed in my mind in high school, but I was like, you know what? Let me actually just try. Like I haven't properly tried to get healthy, get active. So I went to the gym, worked on being in a calorie deficit, and I was able to lose weight initially. Well, granted, I also learned how to do my hair and my makeup at the same time. So it was me losing weight, learning makeup, and also learning how to do my hair. I think all of that contributed to me getting more attention. And it was really weird to take in at first, just because when you never experienced that before, you're just like, damn, like this is how life is. This is how people treat you. So it was definitely eye-opening. And I was like, oh, so pretty privilege is really a thing. And I was getting compliments from men and women as well. And also, I've told the story before, but I got my first job because the manager's son, no, not son, nephew, thought I was attractive. So it definitely plays a role. It definitely helps. And that's why I always say I would rather benefit from pretty privilege than not benefit from it. And there's nothing wrong from wanting to benefit from pretty privilege. In fact, if you have it, I would encourage you to use it. But there needs to be a balance and you need to put the effort in to do it the right way. Don't just jump into a restrictive meal plan and make yourself feel miserable. Slowly start going to the gym, understanding the equipment, understanding how to use it. You can even get yourself a personal trainer to get started on your journey and focus on balanced meals, have a good skincare routine, go to a dermatologist. Just make sure you are good and healthy, because when you are good and healthy, you're gonna glow and everything's gonna start falling into place. There are just so many ways to invest into yourself without losing yourself, and that's what I want y'all to remember as we go throughout today's video. So the content that Liv was posting was very specific. We had the what I eat in a day videos, the skinny girl essentials, tips on how to avoid gaining weight when you start university. Also videos about how she prayed to have her mom's genes and not have her dad's genes because her mom is slimmer. Yeah. She even had content about the fact that she could fit into kids' clothes, so she made videos about it, bragging about it. Yeah. It was a lot. It was weird. And we're going to talk about it more in a sec. A writer at NSSG Club described her content as blending the chick revival, the 2012 Tumblr spirit, and wellness guru aesthetics, and camouflaging an obsession with thinness under the guise of healthy living tips. And that description is actually really accurate, because it wasn't the aggressive in-your-face messages like the earlier forums from the internet during the early days. It was softer than that. It was dressed up in the language of discipline, self-control, and personal empowerment. She wasn't telling these women that they weren't enough necessarily, but she was telling them that they are smart enough to make better decisions for themselves and, you know, to be slim. And she was able to build a pretty strong community around her. She launched a subscription group called the Skinni Societe, and members paid between $20 and $50 a month for access to her content, her approach to eating, and chat rooms where everyone was connected. At its peak, Skinni Society had over 6,500 paying members, and Liv was making about $130,000 a month, y'all. Insane. Like, it is just so crazy, like 100K per month. Yeah. Also, she spells skinny with an I at the end instead of Y, because she kept getting flagged for spelling it with the Y on TikTok. So her Skinni Society is with the I. She was also signed by Elite Model, which is the same agency that launched Giselle Bündchen and Naomi Campbell's career. I talked about this in my America's Next Top Model video and also my Victoria's Secret video, so definitely watch those so you can understand how powerful they are. So Liv was living her best life. She was slim. She was going to New York Fashion Week, at the Polo Bar, at celebrity events, and she was living the exact aspirational lifestyle her content was selling. She has also described her followers as cult-like. These are her words, not mine. And I feel like that tells you a lot about her content and how she views her fans, because that's weird. That's creepy. No. She had women who credited her with changing how they saw themselves, who felt seen by her content in a way that the body positivity movement had not made them feel seen. So her fans really love her. Like, you either love her or you hate her, and a lot of her fans feel like she is being punished for being honest and she's just misunderstood. And because they ride so hard for Liv, I guess that's why she considers them as cult-like, because if she says jump, they gonna jump. Like, it's a lot. I've seen quite a few alarming videos and before and after photos of women who follow Liv. They show their transformation, and I'm like, hold up a minute. First of all, they were not even big at all. Like, and if you want to lose weight, that is your prerogative, but of course do it the smart way. And these ladies, they were already very small, and then they lost even more weight, and it looked like it was becoming an ED. It was not a healthy weight at all, and they were crediting Liv for the transformation in their body, and that's very alarming. Very alarming. Like, you guys see why she had to get banned off of social media. Like, you understand? I mean, she's still on social media right now, but she got banned off of TikTok, because look at the influence, the impact that she is having on women all around the world, whoever can access her content. It is scary. Liv has a line that she uses almost like a mantra. It's skinny is a mindset, not a size. And that tells you everything you need to know about what she was selling. I mean, this whole video already tells you, but you're getting what I'm putting down. Yeah. This line reframes thinness as a personality trait. It's like she's saying that it's a form of discipline that anyone can access if they just commit to it, which means if you are not thin, the implication is that the problem is your mindset, your willpower, your commitment, not your biology or your circumstances, which is obviously not the case. I just want to say this real quick before we keep going with the video. I'm not here to drag Liv as a person, because I feel like this story is way more complicated than people are willing to sit with. But today, of course, we are going to get into all that complexity. But I just wanted everyone to understand who Liv is and what she was building before we get into what happened next. Because in September 2024, TikTok officially banned her. And the way it happened and what she did afterwards is worth talking about, so let's keep going. Part 2, the moment she got banned. Let's start this section with the question that I asked on Instagram to get y'all's opinion on this topic. So I asked, where does the desire to be thin actually come from? 4% said it's a personal choice. 23% said completely a product of what we are sold. Then 49%, the winner, said both, but we pretend it's a personal choice. 24% said it's hard to tell the difference now. These answers are really interesting, but I feel like I resonate the most with the last option, which is the fact that it's hard to tell the difference now. Because 100% when I was younger, when I initially wanted to lose weight, it was because of what I was seeing on TV. I was seeing all the pretty ladies, they were slim, they were small, they were getting treated amazingly. At least that's how it was marketed to us back in the day, and low-key still to this day. But anyways, that's how it was marketed. So back in the day, yes, I wanted to be slim because of what I saw on TV. But now I tell myself, like, yeah, it's a personal choice. I enjoy it, which I do. Like being able to cross my legs, being able to have great cardio, to walk up the stairs, not be out of breath. I enjoy all of that. So I feel like it's hard to tell the difference now, because before I would have said 100% it was just to be slim. But now I enjoy being slim, but also the health benefits that can come from it when you are actually being healthy, of course, and making smart decisions. So low-key, I feel like it's hard to tell the difference now, but I do want to say both. But anyways, thank y'all so much for participating in this poll. It always makes the videos more interesting. If you want to be part of future polls, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's Wrld with 2 Ds. Okay, let's keep on going. So let's talk about the moment that Liv got banned off of TikTok, because I feel like it says a lot about how these platforms operate. It all started when the Wall Street Journal started working on a profile about Liv. The Wall Street Journal is one of the most respected and widely read newspapers in the United States. And it's been around since 1889, so it's an old ass newspaper company. But because it's so popular, it's a pretty big deal when someone who works for this company is working on a profile about you. It means that you are shaking the room and are creating a lot of conversation worth writing about in the Wall Street Journal. So it's a pretty big deal. The journalist who wrote the Wall Street Journal profile on Liv, her name is Sarah Ashley O'Brien. And when she reached out to TikTok for comment before the article was even published, TikTok banned Liv's account. Just like that, the article wasn't even published, y'all, but they banned her account. Wow. They did not want to deal with any backlash. They did not want any part of it. They were like, boom, let's go ban her because we don't got time for this. TikTok had previously reached out to Liv to collaborate on TikTok Shop, and they were considering her for their own creator health panel, which is crazy because where does Liv be talking about health? She talks about being skinny. Like, there's a difference. But it's crazy that TikTok did not see any problem with their content until someone from Wall Street Journal reached out to them. Then they were like, oh snap, delete her account. Like, you did not want any association with this lady. It just tells you everything about how these platforms react when the spotlight is on them. Just keep that in mind. I also saw on Reddit where people were saying that they were mass reporting Liv's content because it was triggering, they hated it, and they just was not a fan of it. So that could have also played a role in TikTok banning her account. But personally, I feel like they banned her account once the Wall Street Journal reached out for comment because they're like, oh, like, we do not want no part of this. Delete the account. According to Liv, TikTok gave her absolutely no warning, no nothing. They just banned her like that. And they actually declined to comment on the Wall Street Journal. She did appeal, they reinstated her account, apologized, and then banned her again. Like, it was just so bizarre what was going on. TikTok cited violations of their mental health and behavioral health community guidelines, specifically the section around promoting disordered eating. But when Liv asked them exactly what she had violated, they were not specified. They just said community guidelines, and that was that. Something that I want to flag is the fact that, yes, TikTok did ban her, they did do the right thing, but TikTok also made millions or thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars off of her content before they did. Nearly 700,000 people were engaging with her videos. All of that traffic, that watch time, that advertising revenue, TikTok collected it. So honestly, it feels like they just banned her because a spotlight was on them. So it was all about optics. I don't know how much it was about them truly feeling that she was violating their community guidelines. But Liv came back on TikTok with a new account called Not Liv Schmidt. Not obvious at all. And if you thought that she was going to come back more quieter, more softer, more careful, you're wrong about that. Her new bio read, "It's not a sin to want to be thin." And this is when she started deliberately spelling skinny wrong. She would spell it with the I, as I said before, because TikTok kept flagging her when she would spell it the correct way. I mean, this is a common practice that all content creators do, like on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well. I have to do it as well because they be extra sometimes. And it's just annoying because I'm trying to get my point across, but then I can't say a word. Like, it's just annoying, you know what I'm saying? So it's just how social media is right now. So one of the first things that Liv posted when she made her new account called Not Liv Schmidt was about her bragging about the fact that she could fit into kids' clothing because she is so small. She bought a skirt from Zara from the kids section for $35, less than the adult version. Then her caption read, "The biggest money-saving hack when shopping is children's clothing." On the surface, it sounds just like a budget tip, just a basic tip to save money, like a funny lifestyle hack. But I need you to think about exactly what is being communicated to you. She's essentially broadcasting to her audience that she is small enough, she is slim enough to fit into children's clothing, and that should be the goal. She is all about making her size the point, which, I mean, that's her brand, so that makes sense. But literally, just imagine thinking about your size 24/7. You're walking, you're eating, trying on clothes. All you think about is your size. All you think about is being skinny. Doesn't that get exhausting? And mind you, this is the same woman who got banned for promoting dangerous content to young women out there, yet she came back within days doing the exact same thing she got banned for. Then she posted a caption on another video saying, "In a world where you can be anything, be skinny." And she described her flat stomach as the accessory to her outfit. Yeah, like not even like the shoes, the belts, the jacket. No, her flat stomach was the accessory. Her body part was the accessory. That is obsession. Even though a lot of people have criticized her and they have voiced their frustrations with her platform and the message that she is sending to young girls, her fans have rallied behind her. And they rallied behind her hard. Like, they like, "Girl, we support you. Go live." Her fans have been calling it the persecution of thin women. Like, I swear, some of y'all just be so dramatic. Like, what do you mean? Some people want to be the victim so badly. They want to be discriminated against so badly. When have thin women been discriminated against? At least in like a Western beauty society, they are literally praised. So what are you talking about? Some of y'all just want to be victims so badly. Y'all need to cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Thank you. Her fans have been saying that she got banned because she was honest, simply, and that's not okay. These platforms should support free speech. And Liv has heavily leaned into that. She said, "TikTok did not ban me because I was unhealthy. They banned me because I looked the part." I don't even know what the hell that means. Like, just because you were thin and you looked the part, that's why they banned you? There are so many women out there who are thin on TikTok and they're not getting banned. Like, I think we need to start taking accountability here and look inwards and look at the messaging you are promoting to your audience. Liv was really leaning into the idea that she is like the outcast. She's trying to speak the truth and they're all banning her. They're all censoring her. And that ban has become a part of her brand now. Like, I'm telling you, this girl is smart. She went to school. She got what do you call it, the magna cum laude thing? Yeah, she got that. She interned at really prestigious places. She got a degree in marketing. Like, she knows what she is doing. So now that band has become a part of her identity, because now she wasn't just the skinny girl who would give tips on how to become and stay slim. She was now Liv Schmidt, the slim woman who platforms were trying to silence when she was simply just trying to speak her truth. And that narrative is so much more powerful than just posting what I eat in a day videos. People take freedom of speech and they run with it. If they can't be racist to you, they're like, "But you're impacting my freedom of speech." Like, what the hell? Like, people be doing that. Didn't y'all see that with the Drewski thing? Drewski did a skit impersonating conservative women, and then Jake Paul's like, "I'm gonna do blackface because Drewski did whiteface." Like, is his brain working? Because I don't think his brain's working.
Over the last couple of days, calling makeup artists, and I was gonna do a response to this and like go and do like the full on darker, yeah, and do it and just do it back, because why not?
It shouldn't be controversial to condemn the things that Liv is saying, because it's just simply dangerous content to promote to young women out there. I'm all for freedom of speech to a certain extent, because you should not have it if your content is targeting young girls, young women to become skinny and make it their whole personality. That's doing more harm than good. You should be encouraging women to be healthy, to eat balanced meals, to want to be strong. Lifting your weights is probably the best thing you can do for yourself, especially as you age, because your muscles start to deteriorate deteriorate. So do you want to be 70 and skinny but you're not able to walk, or 70 and fit and you're able to walk because you took care of your muscle? Because as I said before, and I've said many times, like lifting, going to the gym, just doing that, you are going to be more attractive than most people out there, but also it's going to help your health, your heart health, and help you as you age. When you're just focused on being skinny, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Also, this was brought to my attention and I just had to share it with y'all because it is absolutely insane. So let me read this comment and explain what's going on. So this person says, you obviously missed her telling women and girls, this is Liv, by the way, she's referring to Liv, in her IG paywalled groups to do something to their partners to satisfy a late night oral fixation that they're mistaking for hunger. There are screenshots of this. I don't know if y'all know what she's trying to say, but oral something, yeah, it's nasty, but here are the screenshots. I had no idea this was actually a thing, but let's just read it real quick. Okay, so the top is kind of cut off, but it says, I thought I should share this advice to everyone. Use men as food and a high protein snack, LOL. Also, in the other 30+ group chats, some ladies were talking about not wanting to have sex or scared their husband doesn't want to have sex with weight gain and coping with eating. That's very crazy. Dump that man if he's like that. Here's advice from a 23-year-old. Any man won't turn down sex, I promise you, LOL, and won't be looking at you during it like you have gained weight. Also, I love being skinny, but if a man told me I needed to lose weight, I would dump them so quick. If your husband says you need to lose weight, tell them you prefer billionaires. Oop. Use them as a late night snack instead. Sometimes all you need is an oral fixation, if you know what I mean, and it does the same effect of a serotonin boost, and it's a win-win, fixing the sex in your marriage and cause you not to eat late at night. That is crazy, y'all. Like, how is this actual advice? Guys, be real. The oral fixation is putting the in the mouth. I just had to share it with y'all. After the Wall Street Journal got Liv banned, she still agreed to talk with them, and she made some comments worth mentioning. So she said, for me and my personal aesthetic, I like to be skinny, and there's nothing wrong with that. Weight is a touchy topic, but that is what the viewers want. A lot of people want to know what people eat. I am honest about how it is hard work. She also said that she wants to save America from obesity one person at a time. Obesity is a real health issue, but just the fact that she said that and how she said it, just that kind of made me chuckle. I'm like, okay, girl, but okay. Because we have to be honest, there is a massive difference between actually wanting to help people and get them to be healthy and live a longer, fulfilling lifestyle versus posting 800-calorie diet videos to 500,000 followers. The majority being teenage girls or just young women. It's crazy. Okay, so we've talked a bit about Liv getting banned from TikTok, but let's dive deeper into her Skinni Society. This is where the story goes from controversial influencer to something deeply disturbing. The Skinni Society was Liv's subscription-only Instagram community. Members paid between $20 to $50 a month for access to her exclusive content, her daily food diaries, her workout videos, her meal plans, and most importantly, access to a private group DM thread where members could connect with each other and share their progress. Remember, at its peak, it had over 6,000 paying members, and she was making a lot of money. And of course you remember because you are paying attention. Also, it looks like this society is still running because on her YouTube page, you can apply to be a part of the society, which just shows you that Liv does not give up. Liv is a fighter, and she is gonna keep sending her message and keep getting her message out there no matter what these platforms do to try to silence her. If you didn't know much about Liv, then on the surface, the pitch sounds reasonable enough. It's a space for people to be accountable, to create a community, and a space for women who want support on their health journey. That's how it was sold. And that makes sense because losing weight, trying to get healthy, it's super hard, especially if you are doing it alone. If you have a community, you're gonna see results way faster. But in May 2025, a journalist named E.J. Dixon from The Cut actually joined the Skinni Society herself as part of an undercover investigation. And what EJ found inside that group was a very different story from what was being advertised. She found members exchanging dangerously restrictive meal plans with each other, competing over who could eat the least, and posting about walking upwards of 18,000 to 20,000 steps a day on very little food. People were also sharing tips about sleeping with mouth tape so you don't eat anything before bed. That's the first time I'm hearing something like that. Crazy. heavy. Some people allegedly were saying to use prunes as a laxative after feeling heavy after a meal. And also they had basic tips like chugging water or drinking green tea to ignore the hunger, to trick your mind that you're not hungry. That's like a basic tip, to drink water, because they say you're not actually hungry, you're just thirsty. So I've heard that before. But it was concerning because members were allegedly talking about experiencing symptoms like dizziness, fatigue, and hair loss, and they were encouraged to keep pushing forward to get to their goal. Crazy. EJ also found that even though Liv said that only people who are 18 and over can be a part of this society, she found at least 15 members who were high schoolers. And I am so grateful that when I was younger, when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, that I did not access Liv's content. I mean, her content did not exist at that time. Even though her content did not exist, there were other harmful content out there. So she is just repackaged 2000s Tumblr, 2010s Tumblr, repackaged into being more disciplined. But in reality, it's pushing the same message that thin is in and that you should be skinny. But with the way that Liv markets herself and the way she talks about weight loss and how to stay slim, I am so grateful that when I was younger, I did not stumble across her page, because who knows how that would have changed my life. I was already insecure because I thought I was bigger than most people, and also I hated my thighs. So just imagine seeing that. I am just so grateful that that did not happen to me, and I feel for these high school students who were a part of her society. In this chat, members would congratulate each other for not overeating at social events. And on the flip side, they would berate themselves if they had a little bit of a cupcake, a cake, or whatever, because it went against being skinny. Like, you had to be skinny. And that was that. Allegedly, Liv posted a message in the chat saying, "Eat like your next weigh-in is tomorrow." Y'all, this sounds so restrictive, and this is literally breeding grounds for disordered eating. Like, I hope you guys are understanding that. She also reportedly scolded members for hiding behind sundresses. You know, those like baggy sundresses? Yes, you know them. But she was scolding them for wearing it because she said that they were trying to hide their bodies and trying to hide that they were bloated and their puffy faces. The fact that they felt like they needed to hide their bodies in this group chat, it does not sound safe at all. And it's literally promoting dangerous eating. Like, hello? Liv would regularly post messages framing restriction as regulation and as being in control and being disciplined. She would always say things like, "You are not restricting, you are regulating, and that is chic." And that reframe is the most important thing to understand about how this content actually targets and operates in this ecosystem. She is basically saying that the thing that is harming your body is actually a sign of sophistication, of self-control, of elegance. And that language is much more dangerous than telling someone to eat less, because it gives women a framework to understand their own suffering as something to be proud of, which should not be the case. Y'all know the saying, beauty is pain? I hate that saying, but I was always told that when I was younger, especially when I would do my hair. I would do braids a lot. I mean, I get my hair done, as you guys can see, a lot. Right now it looks a little bit crazy, so don't say nothing because I know I'm gonna get my hair done soon. Anyways, I would get braids done and I would always cry when I was younger because the braiders, they were so tight. They were like, I swear they wanted to break my hair off. Anyways, when I would cry, they would be like, "Oh, shush, 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 like beauty is pain. This is what you have to do to look beautiful." And I'm like, and I thought that that is the way. I was like, yes, okay. I was crying, but I was like, okay, at least I look beautiful, I guess. But I hate that we are telling young girls to do this, and we just tell women in general to do this, because this should not be the case. Why does it have to be painful? Now, when I get my hair done, it's not painful, it's great. I feel like the stylists have elevated and they're not as tight as they used to be. But this saying still applies to other areas of beauty, like waxing or laser. I've done laser before. To me, that was kind of painful. Waxing's pretty painful. Like, there are a lot of beauty treatments out there that are marketed to us, and they tell us beauty is pain, so you just gotta deal with the pain to get the beautiful results later. And I'm like, why? Like, I reject that. I rebuke that. But I want to talk about what some former members of Liv's Skinni Society have said. So a 37-year-old teacher named Emma, who joined after her ex-boyfriend taunted her about her weight, he's trash, she said, "They are also obsessive, so it is hard to not become obsessive too. It is like this little cult of being skinny." And I'm not surprised. It seems like Liv obsesses over being skinny. Like, that is her whole goal in life now. Before it was soccer, now it's just to stay slim. Then another member, she's 20 years old and her name is Annie, and she's also in recovery for an ED. She said that it feels like everyone is enabling each other's EDs. It was extremely competitive. who could eat less, who weighed less, who was living the most skinny lifestyle. So 3 days after the Cuts investigation into Liv was published, Meta demonetized her. They said that her account could no longer offer subscriptions or use any monetization tools. And they restricted her account to users over 18. So that meant her 100K a month Skinni Societe was gone. And of course, Liv responded, but she did not back down. She said that Meta blindsided her and that one person with a vendetta against her spun a false narrative and cost her her business. But EJ, she joined the society, she saw it herself, she documented it, and she reported it. There is nothing false there. But I came for TikTok's neck, so I'm also gonna come from Instagram's neck, or Meta's neck, or whatever they call it. Meta was hosting this community, Instagram was a platform, and the algorithm was surfacing Liv's content to hundreds of thousands of people. And none of it was flagged or investigated until a journalist paid $20 and did the work herself. But as long as the content was making money, there was no real incentive to look closely at what was happening inside of it. That's why it's so important to have proper journalists. Like, they be doing the damn thing. Thank you, Miss EJ. What I Eat in a Day videos attracted 13.4 billion views by 2022 alone, which is crazy. And also, I'm not gonna say that I never used to not watch them, because I definitely did used to watch them when I was trying to lose weight. And I find that they can be healthy, but it's can sometimes, not all the time. But What I Eat in a Day videos are extremely popular because people care about their appearance, and I understand that. TikTok's algorithm learns your preferences within 1 hour of engagement. So within 1 hour of watching one of Liv's video, the algorithm already knew to send you more and more and more, until your entire For You page told you that what you were eating was too much and that what you weighed was too heavy. And research shows that individuals with EDs reported worsening symptoms just after 10 minutes of exposure to pro-ana content. Like, it's crazy, y'all. And in 2025, over 5 million Americans attributed the onset of their ED to consistent social media content. 5 million people. So it was the right thing to ban Liv's account. But is Liv responsible for the harm her content has caused? Yes, she is an adult with a degree in digital marketing who built this deliberately and profitably. She knew her audience was young women, she knew the research on how this kind of content affects body image, and she kept posting anyway and charged people to access more of it in a private community. But is she the only one responsible? Absolutely not. The beauty and fashion industry built the standards that made her content feel like the truth to so many young women. And we, the audience, we kept watching, we kept sharing, and here we are now. Part 3, the bigger picture. So TikTok banned her, Meta demonetized her, but Liv is still here. She's still posting, still growing, still building, and her Instagram following has actually quadrupled since the TikTok ban. She went from around 67,000 followers to over 300,000 followers. I think she almost has 400 now. Every time a platform took action against her, it became a part of her brand. Censorship as credibility, persecution as proof that she was saying something real. She even still has an active YouTube channel with over 100K subscribers there, so YouTube does not see an issue with her content, I guess. And I hope this goes without saying, but do not go over there and censor hate. That is not the point of this video. I'm not about that, so don't do that. The point of this video is to understand the system that made her possible in the first place, not to bully one woman who, if we're being honest, is also a product of that system. If you take nothing else from this video, take that. Directed hate does not dismantle anything. It just makes noise, and it gives people like Liv more ammo to say that they are being persecuted rather than being held accountable. So let's keep it moving. So Emily Klein, or Clean, she's the author of a book called Dead Weight, which examines how Western beauty standards affect women. And she said this to the New York Times regarding Liv. When we make Liv the villain of the story rather than Instagram or TikTok, all that does is bully a woman while making space for the next one. Because that's true, the algorithm is still there, the content is still there, the demand for this content is still there, and the beauty standards that made Liv's content feel like the Bible, they're still there. They're still here to this day. I mean, look at Ozempic. Like, it's crazy. TikTok did ban Skinnytok in 2025, but you know what happened next? People still posted the same type of videos. They just changed the language and got more creative with how they packaged their message so they could still get across to viewers without the algorithm flagging it. And that's what happens when you end up banning words instead of addressing the system that creates a demand for them in the first place. There's a demand for weight loss content because our culture idealizes slim body. This is what we are told is beautiful. And they get you at a young age, a very young age. They got me, they got a lot of people. So Liv did not invent the idea, the desire to want to be thin. She did not invent a diet culture. And she did not invent the beauty standards that make young women feel like their bodies are problems to be solved. She found a demand that already existed, one that the industry, the media, and the algorithm had been building for decades. And she monetized it effectively. The system faces zero consequences, but Liv is. Liv is a grown adult with a degree in digital marketing who built this deliberately, and she just knew how to get to her audience. Like, her content's not neutral. She's pushing women to obsess over their bodies, and we saw that. The former members, they spoke out and they were like, hey, this group chat was not healthy at all. I just want y'all to know that the cult of thinness never died, and I don't know when it will die, but it just got a rebrand. Now it's called slow living, clean eating, discipline, and regulating instead of restricting. So what do we actually do with all of this? Because I'll be 100% honest with y'all. I am not above this. And once I lost weight, I was happy, and I don't want to gain weight again. I don't want to be big. I noticed the difference with how I was being treated. I got my first job because they thought I was attractive. Doors opened up for me. I got more attention and I enjoyed it. And noticing that it felt good made me feel complicated about myself because I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was participating in the system, in the, make sure you invest in yourself, make sure you stay slim so you can be considered attractive, like the beauty standards, all of it. So I won't tell you that staying in shape is not a priority for me, because it is. And I want to encourage you guys to actually focus on the health aspect of it versus the body image aspect of it. And I know that's easier said than done. And because trust me, I've been there. Like, I literally been there. And I feel like the path is not easy, because when I first started, I didn't have much knowledge about it. I was just trying to eat less, go on the treadmill and call it a day. And as I got older, I started to learn more. And also, side note, but also not a side note, I started learning how to cook. And that's because I wanted to make sure that I was eating balanced meals, eating whole meals, and staying fit and active, while also eating food that tasted good, but also was giving me nutrients. I am not that good of a cook. I don't know how to do elaborate recipes. And I know I used to always say that I don't know how to cook like back in the day. So I've changed. I'm trying to grow just because I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. Because there is a difference between taking care of your body versus punishing it. I don't want to go to bed being proud of myself that I'm hungry. That is not health. That is not cute. That is suffering. And I personally do not want to live life like that. And I think that is a thing that Liv's content has never told you, that there is a version of this where you actually feel good about yourself. But you cannot get there by following someone who makes you feel like hunger is a personality trait. Thinness is not the same as health, and the internet, the media, they have spent decades trying to blur these lines because it's profitable. Be wary of who you watch, and be even more wary of what watching them is quietly doing to how you see yourself. If you or someone you know is struggling with disordered eating or relationship with food, please know that support is available. You can reach the Alliance for Eating Disorders Awareness helpline at 1-866-662-1235. 1-866-662-1235. And by the point of this video, you should have been able to answer this question. Did TikTok banning Liv Schmidt actually protect anyone, or did they just protect themselves?
Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of Her Next Move by NK's World. We're going to do it a little bit differently this time, because this is going to be y'all's next move, because I feel like this topic was pretty heavy. So I want to give y'all things that you can do to improve your situation if you are struggling, of course. So first things first is audit what you consume online. Look at your For You page and see what keeps getting recommended to you. If it's things that you don't like, train your For You page to change, because trust me, if you're saying the same thing over and over again and you don't like it, you're not going to be happy with it. Also, go through the people who you follow. Maybe you compare yourself to them, or their type of content makes you feel like you constantly have to fix yourself. Honestly, just audit it, because you may not even realize how much of this negative content that you are consuming. Next one is to separate health from appearance. I feel like the line has been blurred so much, and I said this in my video, that I feel like it's because it's profitable to blur the line between health and appearance. But what makes you feel good? What makes you feel energized? What makes you feel happy? Focus on that, and don't place so much emphasis on your appearance. Yes, it's the first thing people see when they see you, but it is not your whole life. And once you let it consume you, that's when you go down a dark path and nothing is good enough. Last one is to get real support. If you are struggling, please get support, because it is available. I have a link to the site to the Alliance for Eating Disorders Awareness helpline. It's down there, and also the number is in the description box as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please make sure you take care of yourselves. And don't forget to download free cash using my link. If you use the QR code on the screen, you get a $10 bonus after downloading your first game.